What's up, Rebels? It is ChunkeyMonkey-40 here, and this is something that I am very, very, very excited to be starting. This is the Stay Rebel Show, so welcome to the Stay Rebel Show. This is the very first episode, and man, I'm so excited for this because you guys love the live streams that I always do on Instagram, so I thought, okay, what if I do something like that and only do it on YouTube, and then they have something that they could share around and that they could watch repeatedly and whatnot and just enjoy without any lag or, anything like that. So this is the first episode of the Stay Rebel Show, so welcome. For those of you guys who don't know, my name is Derek, also known as ChunkeyMonkey-40. I'm repping my pink flamingo shirt, you know what I'm saying? But alright, so just to tell you guys a little bit about myself that you guys probably don't know, and the first biggest thing that not much people really even know except for people in my personal life, and that is something that I'm sure a lot of people are going to click off the video right after I say this, but I really don't care because it's true. I just need to get it out of the way. I need to clear my chest about something, guys. There's something I've been hiding from you, and it's something very, how to say it? I hate pizza. I know, it's weird, but I am probably one of the most pickiest eaters you will ever meet. I don't eat freaking anything. Shoot, when I go to freaking, at work, I work at Checkers, and I'll get a burger, just 4 meat patties, and then the bun. That's freaking it. And I did the same thing when I worked at Culver's as well. I've just always been a very picky eater, and fucking beats me why. I used to literally at family gatherings, I'd eat nothing but freaking chicken nuggets. There was one time where, and this is actually kind of how I got my name. I guess I'll just explain exactly how I got my name. All right, so it goes way back to when my parents were still together and they used to do a lot of fun trips. I need to turn the brightness down on that freaking light, man. It's killing my eyes. Here we go. Let's move it. Oh, no, that didn't work. Here, hold on a minute. And yes, this is true. I am, in fact, a Mountain Dew addict. So, yeah, that's a fact. But anyways, back to what I was trying to say. One time we went to Kalahari, and this is where the Chunky Monkey name sort of formed, or at least a version of the ChunkeyMonkey-40 name formed. So, it was my parents in one suite at Kalahari, and then there was Donnie and Jamie, which were like my parents' like best friends. We had a suite, so like where like the rooms would connect. So like here was our room, and then there was their room. Back then, my mom was really strict about how much snacks we got to eat and all that type of stuff. My parents left their room keys and IDs and all that type of stuff in our room, and they were all over in Donnie and Jamie's room. Well, little shit Derek shut the freaking door and locked it, leaving them out of the room. And they couldn't get in. So I'm just in the room now, and there's a bunch of snacks in the freaking pantry. So I'm sitting on the ground eating the snacks. My mom runs out into the hallway, tries to find a housekeeper. I think she went to the front desk too. And I swear to God, this is all true. And my mom's trying to kill this freaking lady working it because they wouldn't let her in the room. She's like, there's a toddler in that room, and he's eating all the food. And meanwhile, while my mom is yelling at this housekeeping lady, Donnie is Spider-Manning like on the from one balcony to another on the outside of Kalahari, I think on like the 6th floor. He's Spider-Manning, and then eventually he gets onto our balcony, and he's looking in the door wall, and he sees me on the ground just freaking chowing away on the Reese's cups and whatever. And he's like, dude, let me in. And I just looked at him. And I kept eating Reese's cups and all the other candies and stuff and snacks that were in the room. My parents were ready to kill me, man, especially my mom. Like now we talk about that story all the time, but then after that they always called me Snack Master D, and I've debated for a little bit of if I wanted to change my YouTube name from ChunkeyMonkey-40 to Snack Master D, but now ChunkeyMonkey-40 is just sort of stuck. Like I can't imagine opening videos saying, hey, what is up guys, Snack Master D here. I just can't imagine myself saying that. Now, me and Donnie and Jamie's son, Gavin, we used to always love to climb and stuff, and so my mom had this friend, Stacy, who would always call us Chunky Monkey because we used to love to eat and we used to love to climb, so she'd call us Chunky Monkey. And so that's sort of what stuck, and then when I got my Xbox, I was like, alright, so I need to come up with a cool name, so I was going to just do Chunky Monkey 401, because at the time I was fascinated with the Titanic. I loved researching it. It was like my favorite thing to do is research and talk Titanic. But yeah, so I wanted my username to be ChunkeyMonkey-40, but if you look at my username, I've spelled it wrong. It's Chunky is supposed to be Chunky. I put Key at the end. Xbox has a 15 character limit. So the 1 gets cut off in 401. So that's how it ended up as just Chunky Monkey 40. Yes, that's sort of how I got my name, was a mixture of just loving to eat as a kid. But when I was younger, my mom used to have to lock the pantry because I'd wake up at night and I'd go into the pantry, eat the Reese's Cups. And she also had to put this other thing in the fridge too to keep me from going in there and eating all the stuff in the fridge. And she found out that I did that at night when I'd flush Reese's Cup wrappers down the toilet and it clogged the toilet. Jamie, she was quite the cusser, and so was Stacy too. Stacy's the one who gave me the name Chunky Monkey. Between my mom, Jamie, and Stacy, the 3 adults that I was almost always around, they used to cuss all the time. So that's kind of how I've been corrupted like this. But I mean, they had good reasons to cuss at us though. Like me and Gavin, we'd always get in like fist fights and stuff over stupid stuff. There was 3 poles in his basement, I remember. And we used to like get into big fights and like try to push each other's heads into them and stuff. And we were just brutal. And then we also, when we were like 4 years old, we used to do dumb shit like run down the roads naked. At like 4 years old, running down dirt roads naked. So, I mean, but Jamie and my mom kind of had good reasons to cuss at us. You know, we were kind of little shits back in the day and still kind of are. Yeah, man, they were all family back in the day, you know. We'd meet up at Gavin's and we'd have movie nights, or we'd have like Gavin, Garrett, Jason, Paige, Sean, and Josh. They'd all come over to my house and we'd play Ghosts in the Graveyard in the back, or like jump on the trampoline at Paige and Jason's house. Yeah, we used to have fun back in the day, man. But then all that stopped really when my parents divorced. But I mean, I love my family though, dude. My family is really a mixture of like klutzy people and sarcastic bastards. I mean, like there's a few that aren't that as corrupt. Like my dad isn't that bad and neither is my brother. But then there's people in my family like Uncle Orch. And now like Uncle Orch is probably one of my most favorite people in the world to be around because he's always so hyper. And also I know that if he's doing anything dangerous, he's not a danger to me. He might be a danger to himself, but not me. He's not the type of person to like accidentally hurt someone, but he will if it comes down to it. He's kind of a badass. But he'll hurt himself all freaking day. This dude's got one of the craziest medical histories ever. He put a drill bit right through here in his arm. So I'm not sure why he was doing it. This might or might not be right, but I believe he had a surgery on this arm. And so when he was trying to build a sign at work or build something at work, he's drilling up. And he's drilling up, and so he's like this drilling. He's drilling up, trying to drill. So he's going, but then I guess it like caught his shirt or something. Went into there. He pulls it back out. There's meat hanging from the drill. That's happened to him. He's fallen off the roof countless times. I think he's put 2 nails through his ankle. Probably put 1 through here too or something. He's done so much crazy shit. I can't even keep track of it. I don't even think he can keep track of it, actually. Like, I would call him up, but it's 12:43 at night right now when I'm recording this, and he's fucking nuts, man. That's my mom's side, anyways. My Uncle Orch is on my mom's side. He was, if you guys went to Kid Rock's 4th annual fish fry, you probably met Uncle Orch there. He was there with us. It was quite fun with him. And then I have my other uncle, Uncle Brian, crazy Uncle Brian. When I was over at Uncle Brian's house the other day, we were just talking about the time when he gave me my first real-life Dukes of Hazzard experience. And like, so I used to spend a lot of time at my grandma's house, and my Uncle Brian would always drop the dogs off. He had, at the time, I think he actually still had Max, and he might have just got Dexter. But so we'd go over and we'd spend like Monday through Friday with grandma, and then Saturday and Sunday we would go back home with my parents to go boating and whatnot. But yeah, so while we were at grandma's one time, Uncle Brian took me for a golf cart ride, and so we go down the road to the farm that he works at because he runs a trucking company and he delivers like compost and all that other stuff and sand and wood chips. Well, we go visit the farm and there's like goats there. They have a pet deer named Willow. But yeah, so we were over at the farm for a bit, said hi to Braden and whatnot, and then after that on the way home, and Uncle Brian, he had a beer with him, but there was still like a little bit, like, you know how like when you drink a beer or something, like sometimes there's like a little bit of like it didn't really happen for this drink right here, but there's a little bit left in the top part, like up here, and then there's always, you know, a little bit left in the can from like spit or whatnot. Well, this dude, we're just going up this hill, right? And then this dude comes, like, he was like 21 years old in a gray Chevy, and he comes flying around the corner, almost hits us. And so Uncle Brian grabs his can and he goes, I'm gonna do it with this empty one. He just goes onto that dude's car. Well, the dude had his driver's side window down. Some of it went inside the freaking window. This dude stops and he's like slids around, and then he comes up beside us, and now we're both going up the hill. And this dude comes up and he's got a water bottle as he's rolling down his passenger side window. He's driving alongside us and we're right here. He's getting ready to throw this water bottle out, and he throws it, but it doesn't make it all the way out the freaking window. And so it bounces back in, and so now he's really pissed off because now his whole passenger side seat's wet, and plus he got beer in his face. And so this dude wants us. And so there's this house right here where this dude, he's got his headphones on, he's probably listening to music, or he's got, you know, whatnot, but he's just working on his truck, you know, like nothing. We're about probably 3 or 4 feet away from him. Freaking cut through his yard in the golf cart, go straight behind him. And then we cut through the pine trees, get onto Fairlane Road. And then we're on Fairlane Road, and then we cut back onto Marshall. And then we take Marshall down to this subdivision. And Silverside's the road that my grandma lives on. So we cut through this subdivision, and then we cut through Crazy Annie's yard, and we cut through someone else's. This dude in the car is following us this whole freaking time. And actually, when we drove behind the guy who was working on his truck, the dude almost pulled up right behind him, but then he backed out of his driveway. And now we're on Marshall, and he's chasing us down Marshall, cuts into the neighborhood with us. Well, we cut through all these people's yards, get through back into my grandma's, we pull it into the freaking garage, and then all we do is we just grab 2 lawn chairs and we set them right behind the golf cart, and we were both sitting there. And this dude drove by because he had to go all the way around, and so we had to go take Marshall all the way down to Silverside. Then he gets on that back drive, and he drove by probably 3 or 4 times, and then he looks up the driveway and he just sees us sitting there, but he didn't see the golf cart, so he didn't drive, so he just kept driving by. He drove by probably like 4 or 5 times, and that was back in summer of 2012. Yeah, that was my first real Dukes of Hazzard experience, and it was pretty freaking cool. But yeah, we've had some good times in my family, you know. And my mom especially. My mom's my freaking rock, man. She's always supported my dreams, and alongside my dad too, of course. Of all the people who support me right now, there's 2 that I know support me, but I just can't hear it from them, is my Nana and Papa, and this part's kind of sad. Here, I got the picture of them right. I'm sure you guys have seen this picture hanging up in the background. It used to be right there, but I moved it because I put the Detroit General Lee jump thing for the Northeast Ohio Dukes. I put that up there, but I moved this picture from there. Yeah, this picture's of my Nana and my Papa. They're really special to me. I was really close with both Nana and Papa. They're my mom's parents, and my Nana, she was, we used to always say this prayer: Angel of God, my guardian dear, for whom his love commits me here, forever this day be at my side, to live, to love, to rule and guide. Amen. We used to say that prayer every night. Before she passed, she had wrote it out for me. And, but yeah, I always called her my angel of God. That's how I would refer to her as. And I would always say, whenever someone would bring up my Nana, I would say that, yeah, she's my angel of God. And she is. She still is that to this day. She passed away on Valentine's Day in 2014, 15? Yeah, 14, I think. 2014 she passed away. We would always talk about things like the Titanic and history and just arts and crafts. There was this one thing that I made out of a Fruit Loops box, and I think my Aunt Julie actually still might have it. It's made out of a Fruit Loops box, and it's got a bunch of other, it's got a painted on door, and then it had the Fruit Loops guy out front. It was like a little diorama that we made out of cut up cereal boxes and stuff. So we used to always do sort of arts and crafts stuff when I was over there. And then my Papa, he would always get these big chocolate bars, give me pieces of them and whatnot. And there's this one brand called Guernsey's chocolate milk. You guys might have heard of it. Well, Guernsey's was my Papa's favorite, and it was my favorite too, and it still is. Every single time I see it at Kroger's, I always stop and I get one just because it reminds me of my Papa and Nana and just spending time with them. Now, my Papa used to be a trucker at Chevrolet, and he's also an ex-Marine. And this is where the story starts to pick up again. It gets less depressing. Dude was also very chubby, very hairy, That's where I got this from. When the SpongeBob movie came out and like they first premiered it on TV on Nickelodeon, and I went into my room, and so I'd set it all up. I had my chicken nuggets set up on a plate, and then I had a glass of Guernsey's chocolate milk. And this was at my dad's house. My Nana and Papa were over watching us, and my Nana used to tell me this story all the time when I was with her, because it was just her favorite story of me and my Papa. And I had my chicken nuggets on the plate right in front of me, and then I had a glass of chocolate milk, and I was like, oh, it's coming on. I need all my SpongeBob toys. So I went to my room really quick, and I grabbed all my SpongeBob toys, including this, and I wish no, I don't have it. I think it's downstairs or something. But I have this stuffed version of SpongeBob's pineapple. And this stuffed pineapple, which actually was in the arms of both my Nana and my Papa when they passed away, because I gave it to my Papa as for healing, and it was like a character kind of. Like my Nana, she would always she called me Carmichael, and so she'd always ask me to bring pineapple over, and it was just something that we always did. I went to my room and I grabbed like some of my SpongeBob toys. I had 2 Tiggers, and then I also grabbed pineapple. So I come back out with this handful of stuffed animals, and then I see that Papa was sitting in my favorite spot on the couch. He was eating my chicken nuggets, and he was drinking my chocolate milk, and he had changed the channel from SpongeBob to golf. And I got pissed off, and I said, Papa, I was watching SpongeBob. And he was like, yeah, and now I'm watching golf. And I was like, but I was watching SpongeBob, the new SpongeBob movie. It's out. And he was like, yeah, and now I'm watching golf. And I was like, but I was watching SpongeBob. He's like, and now I am watching golf. I'm in charge. And I got pissed off, and now my Nana and Lucas are sitting at the table. They're sort of watching us argue. And so she sort of says, well, Jim, he was kind of watching SpongeBob. He says to her, now I'm watching golf. It's a good game. And me, I dropped my SpongeBob toys, and I said, Papa, get your hairy fat ass off the couch so I could watch SpongeBob. That got his hairy fat ass off the couch, all right. Nana had to prevent him from killing me. She used to tell us that story all the freaking time. But other than that, I don't really have much memory, like direct memory of a lot of the things that I'm like talking about. A lot of this is from like hearing it from stories from like my mom and my Nana and all that type of stuff. By the way, if I'm looking a little bit to the right of the screen, that's just because over there is where the LCD screen is, and I want to make sure that I'm still in the frame. This is my first time doing this, so if I'm not having direct eye contact with the camera, that's why, all right? Yeah, when I was younger, though, man, I used to be a closet cusser big time. Like, at my grandma's, we used to, when I was staying there for the summers, there was this girl who lived across the street, Kaylee. It was me, Lucas, and Kaylee. We would steal all the change from around my grandma's house. We'd ride our bikes to the golf course, and we'd go and get, like, chicken tenders or something stupid like that. And we got in trouble one time, too, for, because we used to, like, steal, there was this public paddle boat, which we didn't know was freaking public. After we ended up getting caught using it, we found out that it was a public paddle boat. But we used to take the paddle boat out all around the lake. We'd go take it around and go fishing and swimming off of it and whatnot in the middle of the lake at, like, 10, 12 years old, you know. So, when we were down getting ready to go on the paddle boat, this douchebag, Dan, he was one of my grandma's neighbors, which we had no idea who he was. I probably shouldn't even freaking say this. But Kaylee, we were messing around, and this dude has his Jeep, right? And he had yelled at us before for something, probably fishing off of his boat. Yeah, that's what it was. We were standing on his boat. He had like this freaking ugly ass blue pontoon, and we were standing on it fishing because it was a good spot, and it was in the back of the dock, so we could get farther out if we stood on his boat. So we just stood on it. We didn't hurt it. We didn't do anything. So we just cast out and fish off of the boat. He came down, and so he was like, you guys need to get off the dock. So while he's getting his boat ready, me and Kaylee were in the sand, like, and we were just sort of screwing around. Well, I threw a little bit of sand up at Kaylee, sort of got her in the face, because we had just went swimming before we went fishing, so her face was still a little damp. So I went, got her in the face with some sand. She got pissed and threw a bunch of sand. Well, some of it made it into Dan's Jeep. And so Dan comes back, and he's losing his shit. He's like, why are you kids throwing sand into my Jeep, blah, 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 blah. And so we just cussed him out. We were like, dude, fuck off. Well, he was like, I'm going to talk to the president of the park and whatever. And at the time, we didn't know there was a fucking president of the park. We talked to my Uncle Brian, and we told Uncle Brian, and he was like, well, where does this guy live? Let's go talk to him. So Uncle Brian goes and confronts him, scares the shit out of him. The dude ended up apologizing apologizing to us for screaming at him, even though Kaylee, because me and Lucas were just there. You know, Kaylee was the one who threw the freaking sand in the Jeep. So he got all of us off, you know, because the dude was like, I'm going to get you banned from the park so you guys can't come down here anymore, blah, 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 blah. And we're just like, dude, fuck off. And my Uncle Brian even said the same thing. He was like, dude, fuck off. My family's been here for like 40 years. You're not going to tell us we can't go down there. Yeah, and then the worst part though, which I mean, we definitely we shouldn't have done this, but we were young, all right. So we ended up me and Lucas, we got pissed off, and me, Lucas, and Kaylee got kind of pissed off, and so we're like, fuck it. And so we went into this dude's fishing. We went onto his boat again, and he had his tackle box on the boat. So we cleaned out the entire tackle box. All the lures, all like the fake bait, stole it all, took it all. We were like, fuck you, dude. I was such a bad kid back then. One time I got fucking suspended from my elementary school for going up to a sign. It says stay out of the office. Well, I thought it'd be funny, and I was sort of trying to impress this girl Morgan, who I had like the biggest crush on when I was in 4th grade, and which I still kind of do, if I'm being honest. This Morgan girl is she's gorgeous. Yeah, I used to freaking like we had the same babysitter. I was in love with this chick, all right, and so I just wanted to do anything to impress her, you know, and she thought swearing was kind of funny. It made her laugh, you know. So I went up to this sign that said stay out of the office, and I wrote stay out of the fucking office with a Sharpie. I wrote fucking right on the thing, so it said stay out of the fucking office, and she thought it was funny, and so we ended up talking about that, and we thought it was hilarious. And then after that, then she gets called down to the office, and then I was like, all right, whatever, you know, maybe she had to go home or something, or she didn't feel good or whatever. And well, then next thing you know, I got called down to the office. She freaking ratted on me, man, because they checked the cameras and they saw me and Morgan standing there. And so Morgan was standing back watching. And so they asked her first, they were like, so why didn't you stop this kid? And she just straight up told them, she was like, I thought it was funny. And so then I got suspended for a day. Because I wrote stay out of the fucking office, because I thought it'd be funny. But I mean, I think it's kind of funny to me. But yeah. And then and other things, like in 4th grade, man, I was such a player. Holy crap. I mean, I was friends with all the girls in that fucking class. Like between Morgan and Kaylee, I was probably the closest, and Maddie, and like Morgan was one of the popular girls, and then basically all her friends as well at the elementary school. Back then, Smosh was also pretty big, between Smosh and Annoying Orange. Well, Smosh had this one thing. It was like a song. It was like a rap song type thing. And they were like, it's a word that starts with F and it ends with UCK. Now say it with me now, Firetruck. And so that's what I used to always say. So instead of saying fuck, I used to say Firetruck. And so I got like the whole fucking school saying Firetruck instead of fuck. And the teachers would they would get so freaked out because I told the kids, I was like, so now say this to the teacher. What's a word that starts with F and it ends with UCK? Firetruck. And this kid Josh, he didn't want to say it to Mrs. Spranger. I hated this teacher so fucking much, and she hated me. And the reason she hated me though was because on like the 3rd day of school or some shit, I was bouncing a bouncy ball down the hallway, and it bounced and hit her in the fucking forehead. And so she was kind of pissed at me about that. It didn't hurt her or anything, but she hated me after that. She thought I threw it at her on purpose. I didn't fucking throw it at you on purpose. I wouldn't do that. I'm not that type of kid. But I am the type of kid to stay out of the fucking office on a side and almost get suspended. Me, I was the type of kid who in elementary school would be like, let's have a contest to see how much swear words we can get into one sentence. And so I'd be like, what the fucking fuck, you fucking fucker? Go fucking fuck yourself, you fucking fuckhead. I would say things like that to my friends to see how much swear words, me, Lucas, and Kaylee, we'd all try and see how much swear words we can get into the same sentence. We always had that contest. That's the type of kid that I was. Yeah, and I still kind of am, in a way. In Spanish class, this is my, freshman? It was sophomore year, so not last year, but the year before. So sophomore year, because I'm a senior now in high school. But in sophomore year, I had this teacher, Mrs. Zabo. And in Mrs. Zabo's class, she always made us do like vocabulary in Spanish. Well, in fact, I actually do have the fucking list still on my phone. I made a list of every single swear word in Spanish. I made this list in her class. Where's my phone? Oh. Yeah, here's the list of swear words. So I had like bastardo, which is bastard, bicho, which is cock, cabron, which is bastard, asshat, or dick, cabula is jerk or asshole, Coromira y mur, I think that's how you say it. It says eat shit and die. But yeah, coger means to fuck. Cojones means testicles. Culo means ass. Hijo de perra means son of a bitch, you know, like bloody hell. Fuck is mierda. Mamon is prick. Puta madre is motherfucker. But yeah, I have this whole freaking list. I swear to God, guys, I'm not even joking about this. This is actually in my notes. I last edited it October 2nd because me and my ex-girlfriend sat there and, let's see if it'll focus. I don't know if you guys could read it, but yeah. This is, I swear to God, this is the legit list. This is the one that I made, and I edited some of them at the end when I was talking on the phone with my girlfriend one time. Well, ex-girlfriend now. Yeah, so... Yeah, that's literally the only fucking thing I did in Spanish class is read out all the Spanish cuss words. And I used to have them fucking memorized because when I wanted to cuss in school, I would just say the Spanish version. But yeah, and on the last day of Spanish class, right before the exam, they had like a pizza party. And like me, I already didn't feel good this day. I got into a fight with one of my good friends. And I also, like I said, I don't like pizza. And this kid he comes up to me and he's like, well, I'm not going to say his name because I'm good friends with him now. I don't want to say who this is, but he'll know who he fucking is. But he comes up to me and I'm already he knew I was in a bad fucking mood. I'm on the phone texting like really fast because I'm super pissed at this person and at a different person. So I'm in a bad mood. And this kid who I was friends with at the time, but then I wasn't friends with him for a little bit. He comes up to me and he fucking puts a piece of pizza in my mouth. And I was like, fucking spit it out and I got pissed off. I just started cussing. I'm like, dude, what the fuck? Fuck you. You're such a fucking asshole, man. And I got pissed, and so then the teacher was like, what's wrong? And so I went up to the board. I was fucking pissed off at this kid. And so I went up to the board and I wrote, and I had to look it up to make sure that I had it memorized correctly. It's joder pizza es asqueroso. And I wrote it on the fucking board. That means fuck pizza, it's gross. Wrote it right up on the fucking board. And after that, I just walked out of the classroom. I was like, fuck this class. I'm done. I'm having a bad day. And I went and talked to Capra, who's the head of security at my school. Went and talked to him. But guys, the camera's going to die in a minute. So thank you guys for listening. That's a little bit about me. If you guys enjoyed this, then be sure to leave a like and also subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't already. And with all that said and out of the way, I am ChunkeyMonkey40 at YouTube.com. Hope to see you guys in an episode 2 of the freaking Stay Rebel show. So, stay rebel. Ha, motherfucker. Alright, I can't even reach the power button, man. There we go.
Just some good old boys, never meaning no harm. Beats all you ever saw, and the trouble with the loss since the day they were born. Straight